All right, that's it. I am calling it. The Nitecore NU25 is the best hiking headlamp ever made. Okay, fine, I suppose there's no such thing as the best headlamp, but the Nitecore NU25 might be the best headlamp for you. So far it has been for me, so I'm going to take some time to do a review of the Nitecore NU25. Now my main reason for buying the Nitecore was I wanted a rechargeable headlamp. I used to use the Black Diamond Cosmo, which has really been just fine. It's a perfectly good headlamp, but it takes AAAs. And I always ended up replacing those AAAs way too soon before they expired just because I wanted to make sure I did not run out of batteries on the trail. And I'm just so stubborn about weight that I did not want to take extra batteries with me. I know I could just buy rechargeable AAAs, but I don't want to. And not to mention, I don't think you could recharge those rechargeable AAA, AA batteries on the trail. Question mark. All right, let's dive right in with some features. So the first thing I want to mention is not actually a feature, it's more of a spec, but I have to say this up front, and that is the fact that this thing is so light. The weight of the headlamp itself is only 1 ounce, 1 stinking ounce for this headlamp. And then the band on my scale weighs 0.7 ounces. Now I've seen a lot of people take off this band and just use like a shock cord, but I kind of like the band, and I don't really know how much the shock cord's going to weigh. I don't know, 0.1, 0.2 ounces. So to save a half an ounce for a band that I find really comfortable and I just like it, I'd prefer just to keep the damn thing on. Let's go through all of the LED functions on this. So it has a main headlamp, an auxiliary white light, which I will explain, and a red light. And on the main lamp, it has 4 settings. It has low, medium, high, and turbo! And like I mentioned, it also has a red light, which is great to prevent night blindness so that when you're using the main headlamp and then you turn it off, you can't see anything. But with the red light, that helps to diminish that quite a lot. So the red lamp has a low and a high setting. And lastly, it also has the auxiliary white light. Now the auxiliary white light, according to Nitecore, utilizes a high CRI LED, greater than or equal to 90 at a temperature of 4500 Kelvin. Huh? Well, CRI stands for Color Rendering Index, and basically it resembles morning light and is designed to reduce eye fatigue. So it is fantastic to use if you have to read a lot in the dark. It's also good as a backup LED if the main one ever fails. The headlamp also has a few other LED settings. You could place this into SOS mode by holding this down for 3 seconds, and then it'll start blinking SOS. I don't know Morse code, but I'm pretty sure that's SOS, so I'm just going to take their word for it. And you can also put this into beacon mode, so it just flashes a strobe every couple seconds. And lastly, you can put the red light into caution mode, so it blinks again every second. This also has a really cool lockout setting that I absolutely love. If you hold down both of the buttons for 3 seconds, then you see that little LED flash there. Now, when you press the buttons, nothing happens. So it's great so that when it's in your pack, it doesn't accidentally turn on and drain your battery. Then to unlock it, you just hold down the 2 buttons again, and it'll turn back on. Like I mentioned, this is a rechargeable headlamp, which you can charge through this little rubber port on the bottom. And it does come with a micro USB cable that says Nitecore on it. In practice, I found that this takes about an hour to an hour and a half to fully charge, and Nitecore claims that the internal lithium-ion battery has about 500 charge cycles on it before the battery goes kaput, which is pretty awesome because I'm quite sure that I'm going to lose or break this thing before that happens. The other cool thing about the battery is that you can connect this to an external power source and actually still operate the headlamp, which means that you can make this into the ultimate night hiking headlamp if you connect this to a cord and to an external battery and keep this thing running for hours and hours and hours. Now you would probably have to get some kind of a 90-degree micro USB cable because otherwise this straight one is just going to kind of sit down right in front of your face while you're hiking, and that's no fun. The NU25 has a 60-degree tilt angle, and they also have a little strip of silicone around the band, which they call a sweat diverting strip. How incredibly official. Yeah, I suppose it can divert sweat, but I found that it actually does a better job of just keeping the headlamp in place on your forehead. And it comes in 3 colors, yellow, black, or white. Now in practice when I'm using this thing, I usually do hike with a hat, and for the most part when I put it over my hat, I still find that it can shine down on the ground just fine, even with the cap in the way. But if not, I still just can easily put it underneath my hat, and then I don't really have much of an issue at all. Or I just take my hat off and get rid of that. Why did I throw it all the way over there? I've seen some other people take a really small flashlight and just clip it to their rim of the hat, and that seems like it would work just fine. But for me, I just personally prefer an actual headlamp, especially because when I hike in the winter, I don't hike with a cap, obviously. So I much rather just have a headlamp so I can have access to both my hands. All right, let's go over some specs. As far as the lumens and the battery life on each of the settings, for the main headlamp, on low it's 1 lumen and it lasts for 160 hours. On medium it's 38 lumens and lasts for 8 hours. On high it's 190 lumens and lasts for 5 hours. And on turbo mode it's 360 lumens and it kind of lasts 30 minutes. So I say kind of because that's actually not how long the battery can last until it dies. This thing gets kind of hot on turbo mode, so after around 30 minutes it will automatically go back down to high and cool itself off. And again, that takes about 30 minutes. For the auxiliary white light, it has 20 lumens and lasts for 6 hours and 15 minutes. And for the red light on low, it's 0.9 lumens and lasts for 68 hours. Ooh. And for the red light on high, it's 13 lumens and lasts for 7 hours and 45 minutes. It's also waterproof rated to IP66, which should be totally fine in the rain, but I would not go swimming with it. And the price, as of today, on Amazon is $36.95. Okay, on to my likes and dislikes. Starting off with my dislikes, the first thing that I don't love about it is the fact that it does not have any type of continuous infinity mode for the headlamp. It just has each setting, low, medium, high, and turbo, and so on and so forth. You cannot hold down the button and have it infinitely dim and brighten like you can with this Cosmo. So if I hold down the button, it gets dimmer, and you can have it at whatever setting you want in between those ranges. This isn't a huge dislike for me. In reality, it's actually kind of simpler just to have it be those 4 main settings and not have to screw around with any type of a continuous mode. But if that is something that you're really looking for, the NU25 does not have that. My other dislike is that it just kind of feels cheap. Now, I don't really have any issues or concerns with the quality at all. It just feels cheap. It's made out of plastic, which is fine. This Cosmo is also made out of plastic, and it's one of the big things that keeps down the weight of this headlamp. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the really low weight. You know how when things don't weigh a lot, they just feel kind of cheap? Yeah, it just feels cheap. Again, no concerns whatsoever with the quality of this, but it just feels cheap. And it is impact rated to 1 meter. I have not tested that so far, but they do claim it's impact rated to 1 meter. But that is it as far as the things that I don't like about this headlamp. On to my likes. My first one by far is definitely the weight. Only 1 ounce again for this thing is pretty incredible. And again, only 0.7 ounces for the band. If you want to go even lighter than that, get a shock cord, but for me personally, I just like having this. My second like is that it's rechargeable. I will never go back to a headlamp that requires actual AAA or AA batteries. Having a rechargeable headlamp is so much better in my opinion, because not only do you not have to screw around with having to replace batteries all the time, but you can also recharge it very easily on the trail if you have an external battery. I also like all the little extra features, right, like the red light and even the auxiliary white light, which I don't use that often, but it is kind of cool to have. They do have some headlamps out there that don't have a red light at all, so I just like having those extra features. It also has pretty good specs as far as the lumens and battery life for a headlamp at this price and at this weight. Especially when you compare this to some of the other Black Diamonds or ThruNite or some other companies. Really about the only one that I could find, although I'm sure there are others out there, that has better battery life for comparable lumens, is the Petzl Actic Core. Am I saying that right? Actic? That one does have better battery life at comparable lumens to this thing, but it is 3 times the weight and about twice the price. And lastly, speaking of price, I do love the price of this thing. I just don't want to spend, $70, $80+ for a headlamp. So $37 for this thing is a pretty good deal in my opinion, so I love the price. Alright, so is it the best hiking headlamp on the market? Again, no, nothing is the best. But again, like I said, it could be the best for you like it has been for me. And I will strongly say that for the average backpacker who needs decent lumens, good battery life, and low weight, I really think that the Nitecore NU25 is pretty tough to beat. Okay, anyone else have the Nitecore NU25? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Any other headlamps out there that you use that you really like? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stick around just another couple of seconds for a few bloopers. And as always, when you're out there on the trail, have fun out there. Did that blind you? Should I not do it in the camera? Let's do it this way, or this way, or yeah, this way. Ugh, man, I am gonna be blind by the end of this. Stop it! L-E-E, yeah. Best, the best, the best. Open up! Ugh, this is hard work. Ugh. Can you tell that I'm holding this piece of paper out there? Stay! Ooh, tape would be nice. Do I have tape? Oh, whatever.